And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Good Guy Sports. We are getting caught up from the earlier 5 o'clock show. It is after 5:30, and we are getting you caught up for anything that we have missed. As we go right on air, we are joined by Mike Roby in the beautiful Chattanooga, Tennessee Lookout Mountain, and we got Blake Gerke as usual in his apartment, just doing the show like we usually do here. So there's that. So let's get caught up now. Well, stuff that we had missed. So the first up topic I want to get to before we get to everyone's is that all the postseason baseball that the Phillies have advanced, the and the and the Braves are going to be playing on Saturday against the Phillies, I believe, and which is going to be a crazy kind of game. And then we got the Diamondbacks and who have won their series against the Brewers, and then we got the Rangers just they just swept Blake's Rays, unfortunately, but his team had a great season, but the Rangers were just a better of a team. And then the Twins go on to beat the Blue Jays, which the Rays Blue Jays all got swept, and then that leads us now to a Dodgers Diamondbacks matchup on the same day that the Braves played the Phillies on Saturday. So and then on the AL side, the Rangers, who beat the Rays, in who took 2 out of 3 in the series against the Rays. Blake Lumberger's Rays had a great season. They were on a roll, and they have led, which they have led the AL East most of the summer until July, where things just took a turn and they slipped up, and they had to slip away and have lost their last latest games in July and August, heading into December, which is why they had to play in the wild card round against the Rangers, and that is what happened. The Rays could not get past in the wild card round, which is why they had to play in that game for why they were in the division. So Blake Lumberger should feel sorry for himself, but at least the Rangers were just a better team. Now they're going to have to face against the Baltimore Orioles, which I hear is going to be a fascinating series to watch, and that's something we're probably going to all have to tune in for. But and yeah, and then after that, the Astros, they will take on the Minnesota Twins, who they who they who they swept the Blue Jays into. So that's where we are right now, where we stand in the baseball postseason. And Mike, Blake, any thoughts to where things are right now?
I think the big matchup is going to be the Braves and the Phillies. And I think the key to that game is the Braves need to win game 1. That way, if Zach Wheeler is going to pitch game 2 and Nola is going to pitch game 3 for the Phillies. If they need to win game 1 to knock the momentum away from the Phillies. Now the Braves have been awesome in the first inning. They've scored in 40% in the first inning in 40% of their games this year. Tops of anybody else.
It's a good stat.
And they need to take the momentum away from the Phillies. Wheeler was lights out, and Nola had his best game in 6 starts yesterday. But that's going to be an interesting matchup to watch. I think that's going to be the primetime games.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the first game is definitely a big tone setter in a series. Last year it kind of got out of hand. The Braves Phillies series last year, with the Phillies advancing in that one. So Definitely we're looking to be making amends this year in the divisional series. But yeah, I think compared to last year, I think this team has made a lot of strides. The Braves I'm referring to, and I don't think they're going to be particularly scared of the Phillies, given the fact that they were defeated by them last year in the divisional series. I feel like this year they have the right mix of pitching and hitting to get the job done in the divisional series. So I think the Braves will win in 4 games. I'll give the Phillies one when they go back to Philly. But yeah, I think we'll make pretty quick work of them, to be fair.
I think the key is going to get to the Phillies bullpen as soon as they can.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching the series, don't be fooled by the wild card series. The Marlins, the Marlins are, they're a nice little ball club, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. They're got a big matchup here against the National League East champions here. So obviously a good home crowd advantage in that series, probably push them over the edge against Miami. They couldn't quite keep up, but I'm not going to be fooled by those 2 games. Last couple days, I'm still everyone relax. I still think the Braves are going to handle their business in this series, personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's hope Strider comes out, has a good game on Saturday.
I'm confident he will.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it looks like Blake's Rays couldn't make much of a impact, huh?
Guys, and before we get to that, what's your background, Blake, for this week?
You tell me.
Looks
You
like
tell me, Jackson.
looks like you're in downtown Charlotte.
We're high above. You see the Knight Stadium and the Panther Stadium, right?
I do.
We I got a question, guys. How am I Rays doing in the playoffs? And are we
Yeah.
still gonna win it all?
No,
Are we still gonna win it all?
We got some bad news for you.
I hate to bring it to you,
No.
but your team got beat by the Rangers. Your team only scored 1 run that series. That's
Goodness.
it. Had to play in the wild card round.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why they did, like I said earlier, is that the Orioles just got red hot, and the Rays just kind of like lost their latest games, and that's why they had to play in this round.
The 4 errors in game 1 for the Rays didn't help at all.
Jeez.
It looked like the bad news Bears.
I don't want to say Mike was right when he said you get hot at the right time. I was bragging on the Rays early on. I said they're going to go all the way. They're red hot, breaking records, and look, they score 1 run. They didn't make it out of the wild card.
Yeah. And they didn't sell out either one of the games.
Oh, I heard the attendance was not great.
Yeah.
I heard that was a little bit of a knock.
If an American League team loses 2 games at home, but no one's there to see it, did they really lose 2 games at home?
Does it really happen?
You know what I mean?
I don't know if the tree fell. Did the tree fall?
I'm just putting it out there.
Jeez, what's up with the attendance? And they just agreed they're going to stay in St. Pete, right?
Yeah, they're building a new stadium.
I don't know if they weren't happy with that. I mean, what is that? Jeez.
Yeah.
It could be the start times as well, earlier games for the wild card maybe, but yeah, it's listen, I'm all for a little fresh blood in terms of playoff teams doing well. So Texas and Baltimore haven't been particularly great the past couple of years, so I am looking forward to them. I'm definitely rooting against Houston because they're annoying. So I hope that they're playing against Minnesota.
Korea's coming back with the shortstop.
Yeah,
he's going back to Houston.
So I'll be happy.
Twin.
I'll be happy if any team from the American League advances that's not the Astros. So I've got a 3/4 chance here, but yeah, definitely. Minnesota. I think Minnesota and Baltimore I'd like to see do well.
Yeah. The key for the Orioles is can their pitching stymie the Rangers bats?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what we get from Baltimore. If they come out flat, that might be a bit of a sign that the moment's too big for them. But they've obviously got home field, and so the crowd's going to be rocking there at Camden, right?
Yeah, well, and
D-
I think I'll give the nudge to the Orioles because I think they got a better pitching staff than the Rangers, and good pitching always beats good hitting.
Did all the wild cards, they all lost out?
They
They're all
all
in.
got swept. All
Wow.
the winners won in 2 games.
Jeez. Jackson, are you and Blake, are these prime? Is it prime time? What are the glasses?
No, I
Is it
just
prime?
got back from
It's
the doctor.
prime time.
No, 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 no.
No.
I wish.
We just didn't get the memo.
No, no. Those
We're
are
trying
my-
to support
No, no,
after
no.
the tough loss against USC, we're trying to show solidarity.
You would think
Okay.
that, but no. Those are my glasses. I have to wear for my prescription.
Oh, okay. You get okay. So you got the Ojos. You got the Ojos worked on.
Yeah.
I'm just at the just a little
No problem, we're gonna.
little problem. We're gonna get dressed. Not
I think they look cool, to be honest. I think they look
not
pretty
to worry.
sweet.
Not to worry. It's all gonna be fine.
I think
Now,
it's
Jackson,
I
if
think
this-
it's a new look for the sports
Yeah.
guys.
If this is a paid sponsorship, you have to say so about Blender, Jax. Okay, you just have to reveal that kind of stuff these days. What name
Yeah,
it like
yeah,
this?
I hear you. I hear you, Blake.
What's
They
on
look
the
good.
should we switch to the college football slate this weekend, Jack?
Yes. So the first game I want to get to is the Red River Showdown between the Texas Longhorns and Oklahoma Sooners out in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, which Texas should be a very good team, and so is Oklahoma. And I think this game is most likely going to go down the wire. And I think this on both sides of the ball. And I think this and I think I might lean towards the Longhorns to win this game.
I would
I
agree.
would tend
It'll-
to agree with you on that, particularly given the home field advantage that Texas has. Do we think Texas are playoff contenders? Like, how far? Obviously, a great win against Alabama, still undefeated. Like, how far do we think this Longhorn team can go?
Think I think they would go maybe as far as they could go. I could see them making the college football playoff if they stay healthy. And they are if their players just stay healthy and not make any critical mistakes by losing players, injuries or not turn the ball over too many times. And if they stay healthy all year, then I think they could. Then I would probably see them make the semifinal of the college football playoff if they were to stay healthy all year.
We got how many teams undefeated? Eight undefeated in the top eight are all undefeated. Is that right?
I believe we've got, yeah, I think the top, actually the top 9 right now. I can rattle through the list. Georgia, Michigan, Texas,
Mhm.
Ohio State, Florida State, Penn State, Washington, Oregon, USC. So I think a couple of those teams will end up playing each other and knock each other off. But right now it's a pretty competitive field.
Like who are the two they're going to match up? The two undefeated. Which ones did you just say?
I believe Washington is playing Oregon this week, actually. So
Ooh.
one of those teams will be facing a defeat. Yeah.
How about a little comeback? Colorado trying to put on USC. That was a
They
decent comeback.
didn't roll over, did they?
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I've been dealing with Caleb Williams, who looked unstoppable as a possible Heisman candidate yet again.
Yeah, so USC has a really tough rest of the schedule because they still have Notre Dame away, Oregon away, Washington at home left this season, all who are top 10 opponents. So I'd be surprised if they make it through that schedule totally unscathed. So I think that sets up pretty well for Texas, given if they can get past Oklahoma tomorrow, which given the fact What is it a home game, Jack, or is that neutral site? Am I
It's a
Cotton Bowl, right? So
it,
neutral site. Okay.
yes,
Well, neutral site in Dallas, Texas.
Well, yeah, exactly. I'm sure. Hey, listen, I'm sure there'll be a lot of Sooner fans there, but they've got a good chance tomorrow, don't they? So if they can get through Oklahoma, the rest of their schedule is currently against unranked opponents. You know, likes of BYU, Kansas State, et cetera, et cetera. So they've got a good chance to. You would imagine, obviously, if they finish undefeated, there's no way they're not making the playoffs, right? Um, so given the relative lack of depth in the Big 12, they've certainly got, I think, a good chance of making the playoffs this year, depending on how tomorrow goes, right? Or for Saturday goes. Sorry.
yeah. Yeah. Which, by the way, that game makes it very special because it's played there every year, much like the Georgia Florida game down in Jacksonville. So so they're very passionate about those events.
Guess as of next year, that will be a SEC matchup, right?
Yeah, that's right. Which would be which is very passionate for college football. If you Now there was a game that was being played in Dallas, not the Cotton Bowl, but Arkansas, Texas A&M play in AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. That's also a tradition. So a lot of good things happen in the state of Texas in regard to football.
Let me ask you a question, Jack, in the panel here. Colorado, if Colorado does not win this weekend, do they win another game? Is there a chance that 3 wins? A lot of people were right that 3 wins will be it. If they don't win this weekend against Stanford, will they win another game?
I thought they were playing Arizona State this weekend.
I get that wrong, and then Stanford maybe.
Yeah. So they're away at Arizona State on this
Oh, you're
weekend,
right.
and
There we
then
go.
home to Stanford the following weekend. But yeah, listen, I mean, they obviously got off to a hot start, but there's no gimmies here. So yeah, I mean, Coach Prime's got to stop the rot here and get a victory pretty soon, right?
Yeah. I've got Colorado against Arizona State this weekend.
You're back in the Buffaloes in Tempe.
Yeah.
Back in the Buffaloes. I
Yeah,
like
I
it,
agree.
Blake.
I think Colorado will win by 2 touchdowns.
Ooh,
Wow.
They
They're
will
gonna cover.
definitely beat
we
Arizona
got
State.
it. Sounds like we got a Shador fan in the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a wild upset alert for you.
Here we go.
Maryland, fear the turtle.
Ooh.
Who they got?
The undefeated University of Maryland Terrapins.
See, look at that. We're giving them no
Taking on-
love at all.
They
They're
have to go on the road and
traveling
take on
to
the Ohio
Columbus.
State Buckeyes.
Oh, no way, Mike. Come on.
Come
Get out of here. Are you
on.
serious? Are you serious? Are you, as Jackson would say, are you
Hey.
kidding me?
Hey,
Are
No,
you
he's not-
serious?
He's
the
not joking.
Terrapins are number 2 in takeovers in the country.
Okay, that's a good okay.
Takeaways.
How about
And
that
their
Michigan
offensive
State
line,
win?
their offensive
And I have to point
line
out,
has only given up 1 sack all season.
I have to point out that the University of Maryland has never hosted college game day in football. One of the schools.
I mean, their
Well,
last 2 opponents were Indianapolis and Michigan State, and neither one of those games was that close.
No, I'm looking at it right now. They rolled over Michigan State. I bet the Sparty fans are not happy about that.
And that was an away game.
Jeez.
So I'm going out on a limb here.
Upset alert. Where is game day going to be? Maryland, Ohio State? Where's game day going to be?
Ohio State. This game's going to be in
Oh,
Ohio
right.
State, which will be even more. College Park's going to be partying Saturday night.
I'll tell you this, Mike. Your prediction's better because it's a noon game. They don't have time to get those. That clear water doesn't have time to get in all the fans, so it won't be as rowdy as the night game.
Yeah.
What other matchups we like this week, Jack?
Let's see the other matchup that I want to get to. We have got another. The 2 top 10 undefeated matchups. Well, not ranked matchup, but we got 2 unbeaten teams. this will be taking place as the Braves are playing the first round of the NLDS. Right. Well, right. Of course, the Braves will be playing at home, but there will also be college football played on the same day, which is crazy. Which our next matchup is the undefeated Kentucky Wildcats on the road taking on a unbeaten top-ranked Georgia Bulldog at Sanford Stadium in Athens. Kentucky is a basketball school, but they're unbeaten in football, which is crazy. We talked about Duke last week and Kansas. Now they start their first loss season, but Kentucky is still the only basketball school undefeated in football. Now they have to go in a hostile environment and Sanford Stadium in Athens, taking on a red hot Jason Beck Georgia Bulldogs defense, who is top ranked in the country, going up against Kirby Smart, who's one of Nick Saban's former assistants, who's beating Nick Saban, now is on the helm. They are double-digit favorites. UGA is going to be a tough place to play. Any predictions on this game and matchup?
Well,
what's
Kentucky
going on with
Kentucky beat Florida pretty bad last week.
That's what I was looking at, Mike. What is going on with Florida right now?
But yeah, but I don't see them beating Georgia. Although Auburn gave Georgia a heck of a run.
Because I heard you were because I don't know if it's true, if you were at the Georgia Auburn game. How did you even get tickets to that?
Well, I wasn't there, but I was watching it.
Oh, I know
I was
you were.
watching it in Georgia. I was hoping Georgia was going to win because otherwise the whole state would go into depression.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess my question is Florida that bad or is Kentucky that good?
I think Kentucky, they're a good team, not great. I think maybe they'll keep it scrappy first half against Georgia, but asking them to beat Georgia at home at Sanford Stadium is a bit of an ask. I think Georgia wins this game pretty comfortably in the end.
I tell you, Brock Bowers, they're Georgia's tight end, came through in the fourth quarter. I mean, he was awesome.
Yeah, look, I mean, credit to Auburn for keeping it close. They certainly, like, SEC, there's certainly no easy games. Maybe, Vanderbilt excluding, a little friendly fire there, but it's a tough conference, like even like Auburn can give you a scare, Kentucky can give you a scare, Ole Miss, Mississippi State can give you a scare. So yeah, I mean, maybe Georgia's not quite as dominant as they were the past 2 years. So maybe that's a bit of a sign for the rest of the conference that they can be get at. But I don't think it's this week versus Kentucky that they'll stumble.
I would agree.
I agree. UGA will cover the spread. They'll find a way to win. It'll be close. I think Kentucky will score some points, but it's not going to be enough against this UGA scoring defense. They got a lot of talent, both sides of the ball. They're a great team, and because of that, I agree with you guys. UGA will win this game.
Hey, Jack, I got another game. Curious to who you think would win. LSU at Missouri.
What do we got? The Battle of Tigers here or something? Is this the Tiger Bowl?
Could be the Tiger
I
Bowl.
think you're right. Yeah, somebody invite
Could be
Clemson
the
as
Frosted
well, huh?
Flakes Bowl.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, listen, Missouri is a tough place to go. There, it's a bit of it's kind of like in their own area in terms of compared to the other teams in the SEC. So historically, some teams in the SEC have struggled going away at Missouri. So I don't think this will be. I think this is a game that might come down to the last possession here. Yeah, I couldn't call it personally.
Yeah, I like that. That's going to be a fun matchup.
Definitely keep an eye on that one. Yeah. I also wanted to point out the game Louisville at home against Notre Dame. And we can use this as an opportunity to talk about the game last week, the big disappointment in Durham, they're calling it.
Disappointment in there.
Yeah, I mean, it was got off to a bit of a rough start. Durham, the Duke rather, they definitely made hard work of it in the first half, but they got back into the game. Credit to them. Obviously, the quarterback injury at the end hurt as well. And yeah, it was a real heartbreaker for the Duke fans. And I think there's still a lot of positives to take from the season for Duke. Putting up a good fight against Notre Dame is nothing to scoff at. So yeah, I think in the end they kept that game tight. They were in it. Defensive battle in the first half as well, you would say. Not just enough in the end to get the job done though, unfortunately.
Yeah, moral victories unfortunately don't count.
Particularly in college football where
Yeah.
you're a clean record is a big advantage by the selection committee, of course. But
It's just like my Commanders' moral victory last weekend.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second, but I do want to point out that Notre Dame, let's point out that Notre Dame actually did lose on the last drive of the game against Ohio State. You may remember.
yes, they are losers. That is correct. We should
Right.
point that out. Yeah.
Yes, they didn't have enough defensive players to stop this to stop the player in scoring position, which led to a win for Ohio State. And yeah, you're right. Notre Dame just somehow showed up in a different kind of team than they did last week. So I feel like Notre Dame just probably had something in their playbook and game plan from what I can understand from what Duke was trying to get into. But for the way I look at it, it was just hard to slow down your playmakers, and Duke just had a hard time getting it on the field. They had too many penalties, and they had fourth down. They couldn't stop them. They were that good. They were too quick, and to your point, they just couldn't slow those guys down. They were too quick, and that quarterback just had very strong legs, and yeah,
Blake, how was the crowd there on game day?
I think the crowd was a big improvement to the past couple weeks. The fact that game day was there really created a great atmosphere, and obviously there was a lot of Notre Dame fans there because they travel well, but big contingent of Duke fans, really good crowd, very noisy, very vocal. I think that was probably the best Duke crowd they've had for football in a very long time. So yeah, credit to the fans in Durham.
So how was the game day
Was there a
broadcast?
Yeah,
was
I
there a
think
wedding going on as well?
yeah, I'm sure they might have had to do a couple of rescheduling and moving around for that. But yeah, the game day crowd showed up. Of course. Yeah, the Duke fans, they show up obviously for basketball, and so I think they applied the same sort of passion to that big weekend against the Fighting Irish. Everything was concentrated. They had the nice setup around the Duke Chapel, great scenic background and all that. I think it made for a great spectacle. It was a good advertisement for the university and for the area in general.
Now they're off this weekend, aren't they?
Yeah, they got a little
bye.
breather before they attack next week. I think
NC State.
They've got NC State,
yeah.
a little local rivalry next week, so a little recoup and get back after it. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, speaking of blue and blue bloods and bad blue blood, I think I missed a little bit of the baseball talk, but we got the Phillies and the Braves Monday night. Did the Phillies have a former Braves player on their roster now?
Who are you referring to? Do you know who it is, or?
Maybe I'm mistaken. I was watching some of the games. Maybe I've got the wrong team, but I thought the Phillies had a one of the Braves former players. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Sorry. I'll do a
I'm
little more
not,
research.
yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. I know they have Bryce Harper, and I very much dislike him, so that's a good.
So you're
That's
And
really
cheering for
all
the
that I know.
Braves.
Yeah, I mean,
and Trey Turner, the other
Trey Turner. That's who I'm thinking about.
ex-national. Yeah, he
he's
was
National.
ex-national. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
he's okay. I knew it had some connection to this group. Okay, there we go.
yeah. No, other than a reliever, but yeah, I don't think there's any
Now, are we going back to the best of five in the
yeah,
MLB? Back to okay,
it's the best of 5 in the division series.
okay.
Yeah.
Much
The
like unlike last year where there was like one game free, but weren't any this year. That's all I can say. Real quick, let's hurry up to our final talk before we call ourselves tonight. We're Thursday night football. I am at FedEx Field for the Commanders game, as you can see in my background for tonight.
Let's go, Commanders.
They are taking on the 0-4 Chicago
hail
Bears.
to the Commanders. Hail victory.
That's right. And
Dun,
they
dun,
and
dun.
I have to point out that they were coming off of what was a much better game plan than it was the week before against the Buffalo Bills, where they got where they got only
Shellacked.
field goal. They have got crushed and shut down by this shut down and crushed by this Bills defense. Shut down their Sam Howell, but then this past week they went toe to toe with the Eagles into overtime, and but against a very tough and environment
Yeah.
and just those tough.
They should have gone for 2.
I know.
When the Commanders scored that last touchdown, instead of tying it, they should have gone for 2.
If you're away, you always go for two.
Just go for 2. Go for the victory, baby.
But but Ron Rivera's game plan, going to field goal instead, I feel like was a wrong decision for this team. And if he were to go for 2, like you said, then maybe things would have gone differently for the Commanders. Even though those Eagles and Jalen Hurts are hard to stop. This Eagles defense and those top Eagles players were just they had too much talent, and they're a great team. They're that good for a reason. And yeah, this Eagles team is and it's one of the reasons why they're the top team to beat in the NFC East. And now you play on a short week first night football at home against the Bears.
The Bears.
That's just
I mean, look, this Bears team's got to be the worst team in the NFL, no?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
that's why I was 14 minutes late. It was 14 minutes late in solidarity with the Bears' 14 losses in a row. And I want to ask Mike, do you want to be the team that breaks that streak, or is that a bad look?
That would be a bad look.
Okay.
I got
So
the
guaranteed, we got a guaranteed win.
Commanders by 7.
Okay, I like it.
I had the Commanders by 5 for my prediction.
Yep, I've got the Commanders as well. I'll split the difference and call it Commanders by 6.
I'm gonna go Commanders by 8. Riverboat Ron comes back to Riverboat Ron. He goes for 2.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
And I have to point out before we get ourselves out of here, Ron Rivera, which Blake knows very well as a former Carolina Panthers head coach, now with the Commanders. Riverboat Ravon has never changed, and he will stick with it. And I agree, the Commanders will get it done, as everybody said.
That
All
sounds
right,
great.
guys, great show tonight. Enjoy the rest of your week, and Mike Roby, I have to ask you this question before we get ourselves out.
Uh-huh.
Will you watch the game tonight?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Where is Mike, by the way? Maybe I missed the location.
I am in Lookout Mountain.
Ooh. And
Looking
what state
at
is
the
that in?
Tennessee looking at the
What's
Tennessee River and Chattanooga. I was
Oh,
down there
okay.
this past weekend visiting my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Knoxville.
No.
No, in Chattanooga.
No. Chattanooga. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's where the D1 AA game, I believe,
Mhm.
was held for a long time.
Yeah.
was a good old Chattanooga.
She actually lives in Chickamauga, Georgia.
Say that or spell that 5 times fast.
Yeah, no, I'll get it wrong.
Jackson, I will say
Hey,
before we leave, man, the glasses are a big win. I think
I
you got to
really,
breathe.
I
Save
agree.
those. I like them. They look cool.
Thank
Blake's
you
in
very much, Blake.
solidarity.
They look handsome. I feel like those are. I feel like there's something I wear for like celebrities or Hollywood or a famous athlete or
Yeah.
whoever. I feel like those are good. Those are good. Those are the perfect the perfect sunglasses to have. So I feel like I'm not gonna person, but a person.
The
But I
Gotta
want.
future's so
monetize
bright,
that.
I gotta
I
wear
know.
shades.
I
That's
know.
good. That's
But I do
good.
want to follow up very quick that you were just at Chattanooga not long ago / Georgia. Well, you're not. Well, you're only down the road from Nashville, from where my brother went to college. So I feel like I I've driven through it a couple of times on my way to Nashville for where my brother went to college. So I feel like I know that area pretty well.
Excellent. All right, well, go Commanders, go Braves.
Go Commanders.
Yes,
Do it
sir.
like Roby. That's right.
Go Braves.
Go Braves. Go Commanders. Have a great night. Enjoy your weekend. And we will talk this time next week. And enjoy your rest of your night. And we will talk to you soon. Your guys Sports is signing out.
Thank you, Jackson.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Mike. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
See you, Jack.
See you, Blake.